Stretching your hamstrings might be making them tighter. Why aren't I getting any more flexible? So if you want more flexibility, you're going to come with us. The action ship is flying down your leg. Flexibility without stretching. Interesting concept. Not something that we are taught. So today we are going to bust some beliefs about how you get more flexible, where it comes from, and why stretching may be making you tighter, weaker, and far more prone to injury. When you're tight and inflexible, it affects not only your body but also your mind. And so sitting and lack of movement obviously makes it worse. And when we do this a lot, we end up getting in a very left-brained thinking box and forget about our body. And it's this vicious cycle and we end up tied up in knots. But say you do move, you take yoga, you go to dance class, you stretch out after your workout, but you still don't have the flexibility you want. What do you do then? Or do you find that you're stretching but the next day you're tight again? And so it's this constant battle with your body to try and make it. Will you just lengthen? When I was at dance college, I was constantly stretching. But what was really frustrating is that I was actually feeling weaker and I didn't have the flexibility when I tried to dance and move. And so if I had known then what I know now, I would have been a totally different dancer. But luckily I do know this now and very excited to share this with you so that you don't go any further causing your body harm and pain and frustration, possible injury, and making yourself less flexible. A while ago I posted this on Facebook. Hamstrings have very little proprioception, which means it's a bad idea to stretch them a lot. And it's certainly not a warm-up. My hamstrings are always tight, even after 3 years of Pilates. So why do they make us stretch so much in yoga? I love yoga, but I tore my muscle tissue in my hamstrings from all that forward bending, and I'm a ballet dancer. I have the tightest hamstrings in the world, partially due to my alignment of my hips, I think, and nothing seems to have helped thus far. As you saw from last week's video, the Franklin Method band moves has been huge in helping me increase my strength and flexibility. So stay tuned for Series 1, the Dance Remix, coming very soon. But today I'm going to show you a simple way to improve the flexibility in your hamstrings with no stretching. You don't need any props, no bands, no balls, nothing. Just you, your brain, and your body. So try this. Take 3 fingers and put them just above your lip. And close your eyes and just notice, okay, how many fingers can I feel? Duh, right? You can feel 3 fingers. Okay, so now take the same 3 fingers and put them on your hamstring. And close your eyes and notice, how many fingers can I feel? If you notice, it's really hard to differentiate. It's like, is that 1? Is that 2? I'm not quite sure. So our hamstrings have a lot less sensory information than other areas of our body. So if your hamstrings are tight, it might not be to do with the fact that you're not stretching, but more to do with the fact that there's not as much information from your brain, your nervous system, getting to your hamstrings. So your body has a natural protective mechanism that if a joint doesn't have stability, if there's not strength for a certain range of motion, it will shut down the range of motion, decreasing your flexibility, making you tighter until you have the strength for that position to be something which your body is safe in. So you stood up, make sure you stand up out of your chair, that's it. And we're going to increase the flexibility in your hamstrings without any stretching. Is that really possible? We're going to find out. So take your left hand and place it on your right shoulder, and take the other hand and you're going to put it on your glute or around your hip butt region. And you're going to lift your shoulder and lift your butt, and then you're going to slowly let them both come down. And this time when you lift, you're also going to squeeze. So you're going to lift and squeeze. And then very slowly you're lowering your shoulder and you're lowering your butt down. So if you did my free gift on my hello page at laurahamesfranklin.com, you'll have practiced this with your shoulder. So now we're doing the same thing. So we're going to use that same image of the sponge, our famous Franklin method sponge. You're going to lift it, you're going to squeeze, and then as you lower the shoulder and the butt down, you're going to imagine that the sponge is filling three-dimensionally. Okay, so hand on your shoulder, hand on your butt, and you're going to lift and squeeze. That's it, really lift them both up. Butt lifting and slowly lower down, down, down. And just imagine if that was a sponge, it's now filling three-dimensionally with nice clean water. And again, lift up and squeeze. So any dirty water or tension just being released out of this area. And now maybe move the hand more to the side, so onto the side near the hip, and lift up and squeeze. And slowly down, and move the hand on the shoulder, and again lift up and squeeze. And slowly down, and just one more time, and lift them both up and squeezing, and slowly melting down, and just brush your arm, brush your shoulder, and brush this side of your body down around your hip, around your butt, around your leg, and just shake it out. And just notice, you may actually notice you feel a difference between the two sides. So maybe the shoulder is more relaxed. You might have noticed your arm has gotten more flexible, but let's test the flexibility in our hamstrings, because did we do any stretching? No. So just kick your right leg up and just notice how flexible does that feel, and now compare it to the other side and notice, have you got more flexibility now in this leg that we practiced? So chances are that you have, and you've noticed more flexibility, more ease, probably more ease in this whole area, hip joint. You might even feel that the lower back is released. So we didn't actually, one, do any stretching, or two, really do much with the hamstrings, and yet the hamstrings have gotten more flexible. So why is that, and why is it that we often focus all our attention on one muscle? So like, let's just stretch our hamstrings, but the hamstrings are part of team leg. Team leg is part of your whole team body, and they all work together. So actually, by releasing tension and allowing your body to communicate better with itself, you're going to improve the flexibility all over. So it's time that we started rethinking how we're getting flexibility and why we're in this misperception that stretching is the only way to get there. So on the other side, we're going to try a hamstring stretch. So if you have something you can put your leg on nearby, maybe a low stool or a table, I don't know how flexible you are, but you're going to put your hamstring on something and just lean into a stretch, so you're feeling the muscle pulling. And now just go further and just breathe into that stretch. Really, it's stretching, the muscle's getting longer, longer, longer. And let's come out of it. And now you're just going to compare the two sides. So you're going to stand on that leg that you just stretched and notice how stable do you feel. You may notice that you feel a little wobbly, a little bit like jelly. And now stand on the other side that we did our squeezing, and notice you probably feel more grounded, like there's more information, more connection to the earth, and more just ease in this side. And now check the length of your hamstrings and notice, did that side that we just stretched even get any more flexible? my leg actually feels less flexible than the one that I did the squeezing on. So why is it that stretching has turned my leg to jelly? I remember when I used to feel this feeling most of the time after I'd take a dance class or a yoga class or I'd do some intense stretching. And I used to think, well, that means I've worked really hard or I'm getting more flexible. But in fact, I was wrong. And instead what it's doing is it's not just stretching the muscle, because when you stretch, yes, you're pulling that muscle apart, but in the muscle you have connective tissue, you also have nerves. So what is a nerve? A nerve is relaying information through your nervous system from your brain to your body, and it's sending information from your leg to your brain to your leg, and all over to navigate and so that you can coordinate yourself. So say you have a nerve. A nerve looks kind of like a tube. See? Hello? Can see you. And what happens when you stretch a tube? What happens? You pull it and it gets longer, and when it gets longer, it also gets narrower, right? You're going to pull a tube and it's going to get narrower. So there's actually less space for the nerve impulses to travel. So when you're stretching the nerves, you're actually cutting down the amount of information that can flow through that area. So you've actually decreased the proprioception. Proprioception is like the feedback, the cells that are gathering the information to tell the brain what's going on. So if you're cutting down the proprioception, you have less feeling, which makes you more wobbly, less stable, and obviously if you can't feel so much, more prone to injury. And so flexibility is not just something that's in the length of our muscles, but it's really a whole body nervous system culmination. So we need the intelligence in our whole nervous system. So our body is going to give us the flexibility that it is safe for us to have. If we don't have the strength, or if there's instability in an area, in a joint, then it's actually going to need to tighten the connective tissue, tighten the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, in order to keep us safe. Because if you can, bend right over and kiss your knees, but when you stand up, you can only lift your leg, just off the floor, it's not flexibility that you can actually use, and that is a danger zone. Danger zone means you need to be very careful in that place, because that is where you are likely to get injured. But luckily your nervous system is going to come and stop that. It's going to clamp down with the muscles and the tendons and the connective tissue so that you lose that flexibility again. So guess what? Then the next day you're like, okay, why am I tight? Let me stretch it again. And it's this vicious cycle. So I want you to do the other side. You're going to squeeze your shoulder, squeeze your butt. You're going to lift and lower, and you're going to really think about releasing the tension so that more information can come through this area. So your brain is having a better communication with your body. So you're going to do the other side. You're going to squeeze your shoulder, squeeze that glute all around that hip and butt area, lifting, slowly lowering and breathing, imagining the sponge, just wringing it out. And then you can also tap your whole body, tap around the leg, the arm, the shoulder, and notice how releasing tension in any area of your body is going to release tension in all of it. So when you get more flexible in one area, for example your shoulder, it will actually make you more flexible in your hamstrings. So don't get obsessed with one muscle. Start to look at your body as a whole and start to learn how you actually function. Because when you're using your body as it's designed to function, and you have a clear understanding of how the body is working for you and you can use it in that way, your body is going to be so happy to give you more flexibility. So next Sunday, the 22nd, I am teaching a relaxing shoulders and opening heart workshop. And it's going to be a live workshop space is limited. We are going to have an intimate group in my living room, so I'm looking for 15 special people. I already have, I think, 6 on the list. So if you want to come and release some shoulder tension and understand how your shoulders are designed, they're not a ball and socket joint, and there's many joints and bones and musculature around your shoulders, and how opening that, feeling that, embodying your brilliance is going to give your heart more space to move and breathe. And we're also going to be looking at the dynamics and the anatomy of the heart. So what happens, how the blood flows through the heart, visualizing that, and also how the heart moves when we breathe. So you can start opening your chest, opening your shoulders, feeling more space in your heart as January draws to a close and we're stepping into February when Valentine's Day is coming. And actually been thinking about doing a special Valentine's Day special where we're going to have 4 weeks focused on the heart and shoulders, and this will be an online workshop. So I want you to say yay, I'm interested, in the comments on this video if you are interested in that. And if you are not at laurahamesfranklin.com, make sure you come there, make sure that you jump on the list so that I can share with you all my best insights and let you know when these wonderful things are happening, so that you can feel your body, embody it more, feel more inspiration and joy of living in your body. So thank you so much for watching. Chat with me on Facebook, write your comments, and I will see you next week. Go fly like a bird in unison, and I will see you then. Bye.